Sassy grass? You bet your AAR. It's Muscle Car of the Week. These 1970 AAR Cudas are one of my favorite muscle cars of all time because they are more of a road race version of a Cuda, than a drag race car that's meant to just go fast in a straight line. I mean, these cars definitely went fast in a straight line as well, but they were patterned after the Trans Am cars. And the short version of the story is that for a manufacturer to be able to compete in Trans Am racing, they had to build at least 2,500 versions of a car for the street to be sold at local dealerships to have that same body style and options qualify to be a Trans Am racer, right? So in this case, these AAR Cudas were a spin-off, basically, of the 1970 Cuda that was built by Dan Gurney's All-American Racers race shop. And that car, there was a couple of them made. The most famous one was piloted by Swede Savage throughout 1970. The car didn't do that great in competition, but it's still super, super cool. One of the rules for Trans Am is that you had to have a 5-liter or smaller engine in the V8 class. So the competitors from Ford and Chevy both had 302s. The Camaro Z28 with a 302. Of course, the Ford Mustang had a 302. And the Gurney-built motor for competition measured 308 cubic inches, right at that 5-liter mark. But for the street, Chrysler didn't have a 302, so they just put their 340 in the car, the 6-barrel, 3-carburetor setup on it. These were factory rated at 290 horsepower. 290 horsepower. Yeah, right. This thing's designed to spin real high on road race tracks and win races. This one is restored to almost perfect stock appearance. It's a little bit nicer than stock. I see that it's got some headers. Who knows if it's got any tricks inside, but it looks right at home under this fiberglass hood. They've got a high nickel block that's been reinforced internally. They were 2-bolt main blocks, so it wasn't like an all-out race block, but it had an aggressive cam, better flowing heads. They had special exhaust, and most notably the exhaust tips that exit in front of the rear tires. So it was a high-performance car. They had a performance gear. This one's an automatic, but it's got the slapstick shifter, and what that means is when you normally drive the car around, you push the button, bring it down into drive, and go on your merry way. If you have a problem, you can just push it into neutral, and it just stays there and it won't go into reverse by accident. But when you want to go racing, you pull it down all the way into first gear into slapstick mode, and now you can bump through the gears just by pushing the shifter a click at a time, and it'll stop once it gets to drive. It won't let you go any further, so you don't accidentally go past driving to neutral. But then you push the button, it goes into neutral, and it won't go into reverse. Nice little safety feature. Overall, I think they made about 2,724 of these AAR Cudas between March and April of 1970, but there's rumored to be about 110 of them that were made in this particular color, which is known as Sassy Grass Green. When you look at it, this car is covered in cool, racy looking things. The spats in the front, which are like a chin spoiler extension. The staggered wheels, you got 14-inch in the front, 15-inch in the back. You've got the rear wing. You've got the fiberglass hood, which was sprayed in organosol, which is kind of a satin textured coating. Of course, the strobe stripe, which makes them look like they're going a million miles an hour even standing still. They had a performance suspension with different sway bars, better brakes, rear sway bar. They had lots of cool things that were functional, high-performance parts, in addition to having a look, that kind of matched the performance. One more cool little trick is the intake manifold. If you open the hood on one of these, you see an orange intake manifold, but it's actually an Edelbrock aluminum manifold that's been painted orange from the factory. Neat little trick. So we don't know how many of these still exist today out of 2,700 and some odd original production cars. But the interesting thing is, the way these cars were sold to the public was a little bit different. You couldn't go to your local Plymouth dealer and order an AAR the way you wanted it. In fact, the way they did it is Plymouth made the dealers all order the cars the way the dealer thought they would sell, and then customers would just come in and buy the one off the showroom floor, or not. These cars were pretty outlandish. They had a lot of crazy colors, a lot of crazy features, and they weren't really hot sellers. You know, between these and the Charger Daytonas, you know, and the other outlandish Mopars of the day, a lot of these cars sat on dealer showroom floors forever. And it's kind of funny because now you roll up anywhere with one of these things and it's going to steal the show. But back in the day, they were a hard sell. This is also one of the few cars that looks good in almost any color, which is cool because they came in 20 different colors, and there's several of them in the Brothers collection. We've shown a brown one in the past, this one being Sassy Grass Green. You can bet we will show more AAR Cudas in various colors out of the Brothers collection. Show up at a cruise night or a racetrack in this car and everybody else will be green with envy. We've got more pictures on our website at musclecaroftheweek.com, plus our Facebook page where you can share this car with all of your friends, and our YouTube channel allows you to subscribe so you never miss an episode of Muscle Car of the Week.